If I had to pick one cheesecake that would be my favourite, it would have to be ricotta cheesecake. And in the area where I grew up, there's a shop that makes the best ricotta cheesecake. I've tried a few times to replicate it and I've almost got it. So here's my attempt of one of my favourite cakes. So we need to make a pastry to start with. First of all, 250 grams of flour, and I'm using my food processor here just to make life a lot easier. We need some macadamia meal. Now, I love macadamia meal. It's really interesting. It's got a beautiful flavour to it. So we need about 50 grams of that. And for some sweetness, 100 grams of pure icing sugar. And you don't need to sift that at all. Now, lid goes on, and we'll just blitz this really quickly. Perfect, that's combined nicely. Now, 1 whole egg and some butter. Now, usually it's half the fat to flour. So for 250 grams of flour, we need half of the butter. So 125 grams. You want it to be chilled so it comes together nicely and doesn't become really mushy. So lid goes back on. Now, it's going to start to become a little bit of a crumb and then it'll come together. If it's not coming together, just add a slight amount of water. Right, very happy with that. It's just come together, and the way that you can assess that is just grab a little bit in your hand, and if it squishes together, just like that, that is what we're looking for. Now, let's turn this out onto a clean surface, and we just want to gather it and form a disc here. So now, let's get a little bit of cling film. We'll wrap it up nice and tight. And that can rest in the fridge for 1 hour. It doesn't need any more than that. We just want to chill it so it's firm, and then we'll roll it out. Now that the pastry is chilling, we can get on to the fun part, which is the ricotta filling. So let's start with the eggs. We need to separate our eggs. I need 4 egg whites in a separate bowl to our yolks. So just separating them, and the yolks will go into our food processor. Now, there's 2 stages to this filling. First of all, we need the light airiness of egg white, so that's what we're going to be doing in this bowl. And then we want the creamy richness from the ricotta and a little bit of butter and some icing sugar. It's so good. And the beautiful thing about this is you can change it up to whatever flavours you want. The original one might not have had a little bit of brandy or some orange in it, but that's what I love. So that's what cooking's all about, especially when it comes to pastry and fillings like this. Wonderful. Now, for the ricotta, there's a lot of ricotta, 850 grams of full fat ricotta. Don't use that light stuff. It's not very good for this. We want full fat. All right, that's in there. Some sweetness from some icing sugar. And I'm just going to reserve just a little bit of that icing sugar because I do need it to whisk my egg white. So we'll reserve that. Also, a little bit of butter, so that can go in. And 2 tablespoons of flour and ½ a cup of cream. That's going to make it really nice and glossy. And for the flavouring, so I've got a little bit of vanilla, fresh vanilla for this, and we're going to just cut straight down the centre, and we want all of those lovely little seeds. So just scrape that just with a paring knife here and scrape it off. Also, a little bit of brandy, just a touch of brandy, and some orange zest. So we'll just grate that straight into our food processor here, and I'm just going to use half of this orange. I think that's will be plenty. Great. Now, lid goes on, and we're going to blitz it until it's silky and smooth, and in the meantime, I'm going to whisk my egg whites. Right, this is looking very good. So let's go get the base of our tart out. Looking good. I can see that that's really nice and chilled. And now we need to combine our egg whites with our ricotta mixture. So I'll just take that off. I'll need another bowl here because we want to mix the egg whites into the ricotta mix. So we'll just pile that in. Oh, this is good enough to eat as is. It's so delicious. Rich ricotta, you know, a little tang of that zest. Don't leave any behind unless you want to lick the bowl, but we want all of that so it fills up the base of this cheesecake tart. Now, let's go 1/3 of this mixture. Okay, we'll fold that in. It's quite forgiving, so if you knock a little bit of the air out of it, it won't be the end of the world, but just don't beat it too fast. Just fold it like we usually do when we're working with egg whites. Okay, and we'll add the rest of it now. A little bit more. And again, the last folding. So let's get this base. What I love about this is you don't have to pre-cook this base, you just place it all in and it cooks together. And I've preheated my oven to 160 degrees. So you don't want it to be too hot or else it'll start to scramble those eggs in there and it'll cook too fast and be raw in the centre. So 160 is what we're looking for. And this is going to cook for about an hour and a half. Smooth it out and we're done. Into the oven for it to cook and then it'll chill. The cheesecake is ready. So it's cooled down. Ensure when you bring it out of the oven, let it cool completely on the bench and then into the fridge. And we can now take its collar off. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. I like it when it just comes off straight away. Look at this pastry. It's absolutely perfect. It's bicky-like. You can see that it's, you know, really, really crunchy. So let's take the base off now. And very carefully place a palette knife underneath it. And we're going to put it on our presentation. Gosh, I'm getting really good at making these cakes. That this one takes the cake because it's just stunning and it's the flavours. I know that it's going to taste nice because of that really nice, rich ricotta in there. So just to finish it off, I love to ice my cakes. It always takes it to the next level. So with some icing sugar, we're going to do 2 layers of this. So first one, just like snow, dust the whole cake. And that's one layer, and I actually want quite a thick layer of my icing. I'll even get a spoon here. And we just want to really give it a good dusting. And just to make it look extra special, get a rack like this, or any shape, put it carefully on top, and some cinnamon in the same sieve here, and very lightly dust that, just so we get just a very small pattern when we take it off. Ta-da! That looks fantastic. And the cinnamon's not just to look good, it really tastes nice. Maybe a little bit of vanilla bean ice cream on the side, or just as is. It's just very, very good.